Hey everybody, I'm here at the plant. I want to take you on a little 5-cent nickel tour, whatever you want to call it. Just how the process goes. I'm probably going to make a two-part video. First part is going to be the water part. Alright, you'll see what I mean as we go along. Okay, so we're going to get into our little truckster. And we're gonna go. And I just set in a spider web. The spiders love to make their webs here. So here we go. Car. Okay, here we are. We are at the beginning. Alright, I'll show you first. Okay, if you can see across you see out of the fence there, that is the path that the underground piping takes. We keep that clear so we can go there if we need to. So here's our first observation point. The first manhole where we can see things, and it's kind of hard to see down there, but you should be able to see. You may be able to see some water moving down there. That's the sewage coming in. Okay, and it's going to go into here. All right, and what happens here is that you see it coming in. Well, you can't really see through the grate, but anyway, there's 3 channels that it goes through. Okay, and this equipment over here is called a bar screen. What it does is it'll go down and it'll clean off the like a grid that the water flows through to get some of the particles off that are big, and then it'll go through there into the underground tank, which is over here. That's where the underground tank is, underneath here, and from there it gets pumped. Alright, so that's pretty much what happens first. Oh yeah, and never mind the cornfield. What we have over here, this is where some of the city trucks, they empty people's sewage tanks that they have at their houses into here. So that's what happens here. So we're going to move on, and of course that's a generator in case we lose power. So we're going to move on to the next step. Off we go! Here's the next point of the system. We're going to go in order. So stop here and kind of explain what's going on here. Alright, after the sewage gets pumped, it's going to come to this facility right here, which is a grit removal system, because that bar screen will not pick up everything, and there's still some things that need to be cleared out for the system to be effective. So we're standing over 2 tanks here that you really can't see, but it doesn't really matter. It goes through there, and through a process it gets the grit removed from the system. Now these conveyors that you see are carrying the grit out that gets removed. Okay, so let's go and see if we can look at one without getting killed by spider webs. Let's see if we can find some grit. Okay, you can see some grit. That's the grit that gets removed. Alright, and it gets dumped into the truck below. And when that truck is full, we empty it. It's that simple. Now, from here, it gets divided into 2 tanks through that division right there. It goes out to this facility right there, which goes into both of these. This one is called an aeration basin. What happens there is that's where the treatment starts. That's where the actual treatment starts. That's where the biological magic takes place. Okay, here we are on one of the aeration tanks. By the way, I misspoke myself earlier when I said first it comes through that facility. It does not. Actually, if this is where we were, it comes down and it enters on the back side of that tank down there. And it does the same for the other side over there. Okay? Anyway, here it comes, and it stays here for a couple hours. And mixes in. We have air going here because the bacteria that are required here, they need air, they need to have the right temperature, the environment needs to be good for them to work. They're living creatures, and what they do, they consume all the organic matter and they change it into a different thing. Okay, that's more on the advanced side. So, and then after it's done here, it goes here. And from here, it gets divided up again to go through. There's three more basins that it will go to. And the process will repeat. It'll stay in those basins for a couple hours. And then it'll leave those basins and go to another division point, which we'll cut to next. Okay, we've reached the 3rd point in our treatment process here. 3rd point that I want to talk about anyway. Now, after those 3 basins that I showed you, okay, which you can see in the distance, they go right there to that box. That is another dividing box right here. Okay, and it has 3 valves on it, and those valves are adjusted. So one of them goes to those 2 basins. Those are called clarifiers. Another one comes here, all right, and another one goes down there. All right, but we're going to talk about this one over here. These are called clarifiers. Okay, and what happens is as it goes out of the box, it's coming to some more boxes. Like here's another box, and there's another box, and those are getting divided. All right, so that box divides between those 2. This box goes to that box, and then goes to that box. It's kind of confusing, but anyway. What happens here is the water is the sewage, or at this point it's a mixed liquor. This is all mixed up. It comes in here, and it gets slowed down a lot, and it separates. Okay, the solids fall down to the bottom, and then the water stays up on top. Okay, and as you can see, the clear water goes over and goes into the well there. All right, and that happens on all 4 of these. All right, that's what. And in part 2 of the video, which I'll shoot next time, we'll find out what happens to the solids. But for right now, this video is going to deal with the water part and where it goes after this. Okay. Okay. Our next point, after we get done, after the water is separated, okay, and the clear water gets out of those 4, it comes to here. This is a secondary clarifier, okay, where it gets polished. All right, so there should be nothing but clear water coming through here, but there's still going to be some solids that haven't settled yet. So this is a second chance for them. And the water coming out of here is clearer yet. All right, we've reached the next phase of our treatment. Okay, after it gets done with the clarifiers, it comes here. This is our contact chamber. And what happens here is we add chlorine. Okay? The water will come through this manhole and into here, as you can see it. Now I'll just take you off to one side. They're both sides are the same. Okay, and you can see as it goes and goes around the outside and comes back through this way. Okay, it's a slow process, and when it's all the while the chlorine is disinfecting it. Okay, now we get over here, it's going to go through you can see it comes out here. All right, and that's going to go down there to the next section where we add our what is called sulfur dioxide. It's a chemical that takes out the chlorine. Okay, we cannot have chlorine going into the river, so we take that out over there. Okay, here we are in the next section. All right, after the chlorine gets taken out, it comes over here, and where it gets metered once more, and there it goes out. But before that, this tank over here, we use this water throughout the plant for various things. Okay, so once it goes out there, we'll go across the street and we'll go over here, and I'll let you see where it goes from there. That is our, after it leaves that area, we no longer control it. Okay, as you can see, it's coming out here, and from there it goes out. As you can, it goes out to the forest, and it goes into the river. Okay, here we are. This is the last point. Okay, we were way up there. Now we see the water coming all the way down here. See how nice and clear it is. This water is tested. It has no chlorine in it, and it's ready to go back into the river. Okay, and that's what happens to our clear water. All right, and so later on, the next process after this would be the water treatment, where the water plant picks up the water and does what it does to give it back to the water plant. From here, we'll take the water and treat it and send it back to your faucet. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this little video. The next video I make is going to be dealing with what happens to the solids, how we can reuse those. Alright, so thanks for watching. See you next time.